Alright, welcome back to Pac-Manufactured, a series all about Pac-Man clones. In this episode we're looking at Oh Shit, developed by the ByteBusters and released for the MSX computer in 1985. Now this game is also known as Oh No, specifically in the UK, because, well, I'm assuming UK store owners would not stock a game with shit on the cover, so it was actually edited quite heavily, so it's not just the title and the cover that, received the new Oh No name. The actual game itself features a different voice sample, because that's the big gimmick with Oh Shit, is that when you die, there is a sampled voice that says, Oh Shit. Oh Shit! And, that's a good laugh the first time you hear it. I don't know how funny that continues to be as you play the game. It certainly wears a little thin for me, but it's daft enough that I can appreciate a stupid gag. But yeah, it's not just the only bit of sampled speech. There is a little bit of sampled speech when it introduces the ghosts and their different names in this version.
This is Joey, Paul, Willie, and Frankie.
And you also get a little game over piece of sampled audio as well.
Game over!
So yeah, quite impressive for an 8-bit computer of this era. What is also quite impressive is the game itself. This is a very, very solid Pac-Man clone, especially for this era. This is really, really early days for Pac-Man clones. The market is basically just looking for the best Pac-Man-like experience they can play at home without having to pump a load of loose change into an arcade machine to get the real experience, because you can't be at an arcade all the time, right? So yeah, it's just nice to be able to experience that at home. And this is a really solid take on that. I've got to say, they've done a really good job of squeezing a pretty similar maze design to the arcade game into a 4:3 aspect ratio, and it still kind of play very much like Pac-Man. I'd say there's less individual AI to the ghosts' behaviour themselves. They do just feel like they kind of zone in on you altogether, which is fine. But yeah, the mechanics and the actual feel of the game are very much Pac-Man. You do have the power pills to be able to eat ghosts. You do have the fruit pickups. You do have the transporters on the side of the arena. You don't have any of that weird sticky movement where if you turn direction when you're moving down a corridor, you sort of bump into walls and stop in your tracks. You don't have any of that at all. It has that lovely forward momentum. You only turn at junctions, which is exactly the way I like my Pac-Man. You can see the entire maze on screen, which is fantastic as well. It doesn't need to scroll. It's a very, very impressive 1985 take on Pac-Man for a computer that didn't have a Pac-Man port. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with this. It's a very playable thing. It's got the exact sort of movement and mechanics that I really like. It's just a very, very similar take to, obviously, the original Pac-Man, but that's all it was ever trying to be. This is a clone in every sense of the word. But yeah, with just a different name and some sampled speech, which is kind of cool. Yeah, Oh Shit is bizarrely good, I've got to say. I wasn't expecting much of this, but it's quite an infamous clone. If you know anything about Pac-Man clones, then you'll know about Oh Shit, because it's just, daft in premise. It's one of the very few Pac-Man clones that has its own individual entry on Wikipedia of all things. This is largely known, I think, among a certain demographic. So I was very surprised to see that it's actually pretty good. I've got to say, I was not expecting much from this. I thought it was going to be all gimmick and no fun, but it's gimmick and fun. It's very, very fun. I've got to say, this is a really solid interpretation of Pac-Man for the MSX. If you want to play a decent version of Pac-Man, this will do the trick, I've got to say. It's not doing anything particularly unique, it's not got any new gimmicks of its own, but everything that makes Pac-Man Pac-Man is very much encapsulated here. You even have the cutscenes between stages when you complete 2 stages. So yeah, it's very impressive, this. A really fully featured Pac-Man clone for the MSX that I definitely can recommend.